June 6th, 2003, San Jose, California. It was a Friday afternoon, the kind of warm, lazy day where the only thing on a kid's mind is summer vacation. For 9-year-old Jeannette Tamayo, it was just a walk home from school. She had her key. She was a latchkey kid. She opened the door to her house, expecting the quiet hum of the refrigerator and the comfort of home. She didn't know she was being followed. She didn't know a monster was already inside. What happened next defies logic. It is a story of brutal violence, but also of chilling intelligence. This is the true story of how a fourth grader outsmarted a predator, survived 2 days of hell, and used a box of pizza and a lie about asthma to walk free. To understand the horror of June 6th, you have to understand the setup. Police later pieced together that the abductor, 26-year-old David Montiel Cruz, had been watching the Tamayo home. This wasn't a random burglary gone wrong. This was a hunt. Jeannette got home first. She was a bubbly fourth grader, 4'11" with long brown hair. She did what kids do. She probably dropped her backpack, maybe grabbed a snack. She was alone. Then her mother, Rosalia, and her 13-year-old brother arrived home. The brother hit the garage door opener. It went up, but then jammed halfway and rolled back down. He tried again. On the third try, the boy slid under the metal door as it was closing. That's when he was grabbed by the throat. He saw a man, a stranger, with a blank, drug-like stare, choking him. And behind the man, in the back seat of a car parked inside the garage, was Jeannette, handcuffed, crying. Rosalia heard her son screaming. She rushed into the garage. She saw the man clutching her son, and she did what any mother would do. She fought. She grabbed a frying pan, anything she could find. But Cruz was stronger. He turned on her. According to police reports, he beat her savagely with household items. He tried to choke the boy. Rosalia didn't back down. She bit his finger. She scratched his face, digging her nails in deep enough to draw blood and trap his DNA. But it wasn't enough. Cruz shoved Jeannette into a cardboard box or a wooden crate in the back of his car. He jumped in the driver's seat, and he peeled out of the garage. Rosalia ran out of the house, covered in her own blood, running to a neighbor's door. Amiga, please call 911. Someone broke in the house. He got Jeannette. Please help. The nightmare was just beginning. Inside the car, Jeannette was in darkness, trapped in that box. She couldn't see where they were going, but she listened. She paid attention to every bump, every turn, every stoplight. Later, investigators would call this her CSI moment. Jeannette told ABC's Primetime that she and her mother used to watch detective shows like Cops and CSI. While most kids would have shut down from shock, Jeannette's brain switched into evidence collection mode.
They arrived at a house, Cruz's house, just a stone's throw from her own neighborhood. He dragged her upstairs to a second-story bedroom. He handcuffed her to a heavy piece of furniture. Over the next 48 hours, Jeannette endured sexual abuse. He threatened to kill her. He told her he was going to get rid of her. At any moment, she could have screamed. She could have cried until she passed out. She had every right to fall apart. But Jeannette realized something that most adults don't understand. Fear is the enemy of survival. In a 2005 interview with Chris Cuomo, she revealed her inner monologue. She said, "I really just wanted to punch him and hit him." But she didn't. Instead, she made a conscious choice. She decided to act. Santa Clara County Deputy District Attorney Matt Breaker, who prosecuted the case, explained the psychology perfectly. He said, killers often dehumanize their victims. She kept interacting to the point where she became a real person to him. Think about that. A 9-year-old girl, in the middle of being brutalized, had the emotional intelligence to know that she had to humanize herself to a monster. So how do you make a predator see you as a person? You talk. Jeannette pushed down her terror. She asked him questions. She told him about her life. She told him about her dreams for the future. She said, "I treated him like a normal person." It was an act. She hated him. She was terrified of him. But she acted like he was just an uncle she didn't really like.
Slowly, the handcuffs came off. He let her walk around the room, then the house. Then he let her watch TV. This was the mistake. While watching television, Jeannette saw a commercial or a news report about medical testing. It triggered an idea, a lie. She told Cruz she had a serious illness, asthma, maybe even a heart condition. She said she needed medication, or she would get very sick very fast. Now, we don't know if Cruz had a sliver of a conscience, or if he was just panicking at the thought of a girl dying in his house and bringing a murder charge down on his head. But the ruse worked. He decided to let her go. But Jeannette wasn't done. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was hunting. That day, when Cruz drove her to a gas station or a street corner to dump her, she didn't just run. She looked out the window. She memorized the route. As the car drove those winding streets back toward civilization, she was counting turns in her head. He pushed her out of the car. He sped away. A patrol unit found Jeannette Tamayo, alive. But when the police picked her up, she didn't just ask for her mom.
She looked the officers in the eye and said, essentially, "I know where he lives." Cruz thought he was home free. He had panicked and let the girl go, but he figured he was a ghost. He was wrong. Jeannette guided the police through the streets of San Jose. "Turn left here. Go straight for 2 blocks. It's the house on the right." Police surrounded the home of David Montiel Cruz. When they stormed the house, they found Cruz scrambling. He was trying to pack. He was trying to flee. He knew the jig was up, but he didn't know how. He didn't realize a child had been collecting evidence against him since the moment she was abducted. The physical evidence matched. The DNA under Rosalia's fingernails, the scratches Jeannette's mother left during the fight, matched David Cruz. But the nail in the coffin? The testimony of a 9-year-old girl who walked into that courtroom. Imagine being Jeannette. She had to sit in a room, feet dangling from the chair, and point at the man who raped her and beat her family. She had to be cross-examined. And she didn't flinch. The jury saw it. The judge saw it. David Montiel Cruz was convicted on multiple counts, including kidnapping, sexual assault, and burglary. He was sentenced to over 100 years in prison. He will never walk free again. The Jeannette Tamayo case is often compared to other survival stories. You might think of Elizabeth Smart or J.C. Dugard, but there is a crucial difference. In many cases, victims are held for months or years in remote sheds or bunkers. Jeannette's captivity lasted only 2 days. But that doesn't make it less incredible. It makes it urgent. Criminologists say that the first few hours of an abduction are the most dangerous. If a kidnapper is going to kill the victim, he usually does it within the first 24 hours. Jeannette was in that red zone the entire time. She didn't survive because he was merciful. She survived because she manipulated him into mercy. Matt Breaker, the DA, summed it up best. To survive that and to recall where the turns were, how far they were, it's just an amazing act. It's a lesson that feels almost unbearable to teach a child. That sometimes strength isn't about fighting back with your fists. Sometimes it's about talking. It's about getting inside the head of the person who wants to hurt you. It's about being smarter.
Jeannette Tamayo is an adult now. She has largely retreated from the public eye, trying to reclaim the childhood that was stolen from her. But her story remains a cornerstone of criminal justice training. It is a reminder to predators: never underestimate the girl who watches CSI. And never underestimate the power of a 9-year-old who decides she isn't going to die today.
This has been the true story of the kidnapping of Jeannette Tamayo. Her captor, David Montiel Cruz, remains behind bars. But her courage remains on the record.